Hi, B2B buying behaviour is changing. How's it changing? What do buyers need? What should our strategies be to take advantage of that? The four big changes are the commoditisation of industries, the rise of procurement, kind of related, changing nature of the act of selling, that's changing a lot, the rising role of risk, there's a link between point 3 and point 4. Buyers want less content, more one-on-one, more insight, and they want collaboration and co-creation. Therefore, we should segment according to customer behaviour, make customer insights accessible to every employee, align with the buying process, not the selling process, and ensure our digital experiences are consistent with and reinforce traditional ones. I read 4 excellent articles on B2B buying behaviour, and what I just showed you is what those 4 authors suggested we need to do. Obviously I've smashed it together. What I want to do now is show you those 4 articles very quickly, then I want to show you the aggregate view that they've formed, the pattern in that view, and then I'm going to show you why I think there's a slightly different conclusion that we need to reach and some different actions that we need to take compared to what those 4 authors have suggested. Our first article is from Tony Zambito, a regular contributor. Tony argues there are 5 behaviours we need to keep an eye on. Buyers embrace collaboration, they want co-creation, they want less content, they want one-on-one, and they want more than insight. I'd argue co-creation is mainly true in new markets or emerging product categories, including new users or new uses of old categories. But it's all about when things change, when it's new. That's when they want co-creation. I do agree with Tony's net view though. Question though, do they actually want, in fact do you as a buyer, do you want less content or do you want less bad, irrelevant content? I reckon it's the latter. Next article is from Bob Apollo. Now Bob is a funnel coach of ours. He represents us in the UK and knows our methodology extremely well, and I can see minor signs of it in here, but he's not writing about us on this article, he's writing about something from McKinsey, and it's a great article. He concludes that we need to align with the buying process, not the sales process, that we need to segment according to customer behaviour, that we need to organise and optimise the customer experience, and we need to really know our customers. Our third article is from Laura Ramos from Forrester. She argues that we need to do a few things. Make customer insights accessible to everybody, good point. Ensure the digital experiences are consistent with the physical ones and even reinforce them, good point. Help the direct sales teams and our others, channel partners in her point, engage in more relevant ways and invest in producing customer relevant content that can be repurposed. I agree with all of that. It does sound pretty much like the advice that might be given to a consumer marketer, except that we have to make sure the sales teams can be part of the process. Now we're big fans of a tool called Postwire. Go to postwire.com and check it out. It's a tool for doing explicitly what Laura is arguing, because what it allows us to do as marketers is to curate great content and set it up for the right context. By context I mean the buyer's journey as well as the market segment. But it allows sales to choose when and with whom to use that content. Great hybrid, great connection mechanism. Check out Postwire, I'm quite a fan of it. And we use it quite a lot at AlignMe. Our final article is from Rain Selling, another really good source, and there are 5 conclusions talking about the rise, these are basically changes, the rise of procurement, the quest for collaboration, the changing nature of the act of selling, the rising role of risk, and finally the commoditisation of virtually all industries. Now, whilst they're all valid points, I think it needs a context, and that is that Geoffrey Moore did a fantastic job back in the 90s of talking about market maturity, a concept we knew since the 40s but had kind of forgotten the key points about. And his key point is that as markets change, the way we need to market needs to change. And I think that whilst these conclusions may well be true, what they need is a context to say, basically, as markets mature, this is the case. And perhaps Argo Clutons is looking at mature markets when he makes the point about the rise of procurement, yet immature markets when he's talking about the quest for collaboration. I'd argue they're fundamentally different markets, and our approach, likewise, needs to be different. For all that, great points and well put. Thank you. As I mentioned to you at the top of the show, I'm going to synthesise what I think those 4 authors have said. I'll show you the pattern and then I'm going to give you a very different spin on it. Let's start though with the synthesis of their view about B2B buying behaviour. If you've watched the show for a while, you know that I like to cut out all the duplication and really just point out the highlights. But I really think the 4 authors have made these 15 points quite genuinely. So I didn't read all 15 of those conclusions about B2B buying behaviour because I want to use them to show you a pattern and then use that pattern to draw some different, simpler and hopefully more actionable conclusions for you. Here's the pattern in their combined view. Really get to know your market, in particular, optimise around the experience, segment according to behaviour and recognise that they're commoditising. Create relevant content. Buyers want less, they want it one-on-one. We need to create content that can be repurposed and they want more insight. We should leverage the whole team. We should sell the way they want to buy and we should lead the buying process. Now it's the same 15 that you saw before, but I've grouped them according to what I think the patterns are. Well, let's respin that more completely. If those are the 5 big patterns, let's build something around those patterns. If we're saying that we need to understand how your target businesses want to buy, then there's probably 4 things to think about. Market maturity. You really need to get a handle on Moore's chasm theory and understand how markets change over time. This notion that procurement's becoming more important is true for some industries and fundamentally untrue for others. Understand that in particular business units drive early stage purchases and procurement drive purchases in more mature categories for good reason. But across the board, buyers want to do it yourself for much of the journey. We need to shape the buyer's process. Trouble the right buyer about the problem that we solve the best and get really, really under their skin. Segment to be relevant, but write copy to the individual. So specifically, I'm writing copy for you. I'm saying here in the bullet points me, but what I mean by is you. I'm writing copy for you, not for a collective you all, and not definitely for them. I'm writing for you. So that's both a tonal comment, but it's also, you need to microsegment in order to be relevant. So I can actually talk to you. You, for example, are a B2B business person. If you're not in B2B, then what are you watching the show for? Because everything we talk about is B2B. So that's my point about segmenting. Track and respect the buyer's journey. Each individual, even if there's a collective buying going on, each individual will be up to a different point in their journey and they'll need different content that respects that. We need to leverage the whole team, so certainly share segments widely, automate, that's marketing's job for the early stages of the buyer's journey, but help the sales teams, whether they're field or inside sales, as well as channel partners, leverage your content more relevantly. And by that, I'm referring specifically to using Postwire, tool that we love at Align Me, nearly called us Math Marketing. I can't get over the old habit. Consider using Postwire. It's a fantastic way for marketing to curate great content for use according to the buyer's journey. Well, I mentioned in the middle of the show that there was a little thing I was going to refer to about funnel plan, and this is it. Inside funnel plan, it's predominantly been or originally been built to help people build great go-to-market plans, whether you're in marketing or in sales, to help you build a great go-to-market plan. We learned something about that process, and that is that you've actually told us, or multiple users of the plan have told us that what they want, hopefully it's you, is more than that. Build the plan, great, but then I want to improve the plan and make my process perfect. And so we're adding weekly coaching to that. It's all automated. It's driven from really deep data. So we look at your plan and we look at plans for other businesses like you. And we tell you about patterns that you might want to know about. And this is the point I wanted to make about making content relevant for you. And I really do mean you, not collectively you individually you. How do I do that? Your plan, your funnel plan, and by the way, if you haven't got one, you can get a free one at funnelplan.com. Here's the URL. Go to funnelplan.com and get one. Now, your plan is different from anybody else's plan. So I can actually use the data in your plan to tell you things about your plan by looking at others' plans. That's how micro we can get. So we think we can actually take this to quite an extreme, where we can give you super tailored content just about your plan, in contrast to other plans that we also have. Obviously it's all anonymized, the data protection is just obscenely strong, but we can still draw patterns and draw conclusions to help you with your plan. And that was the point I was alluding to about getting really micro about making content relevant for you, the person I'm talking to right now, you. Anyhow, I'll stop rabbiting on. Again, if you haven't got a funnel plan, get one, go to funnelplan.com, get one for free. The paid version gives you a whole lot more functionality, but the free one's a good start. Go there, grab one now. Lots more lined up for next week, and I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to share it with you. Until then, may your funnel be full and always flowing. Our thanks this week to Nick Grapsis, our intern, for doing outstanding research. Thank you, Nick. Contributors Tony Zambito, Bob Apollo, Laura Ramos, and Argo Clutens. 4 fantastic articles. In case you haven't noticed, I often have a go at the articles. These are all great. Annika Dobby, amazing production as always. Thank you. My name is Hugh McFarlane, and it was my absolute pleasure to script and present this week's show.